Good evening. It took more than 2 weeks, but the fire at a pair of Thorncliffe Park condos is finally out.
It's welcome news to residents, but it could still be some time before hundreds of them can return to their homes. CTV John Musselman is live tonight in Thorncliffe Park with the latest. John.
Well, Nathan, as you're aware, this was a very complex fire. In many cases, in some of the units, fire officials had to take the drywall off right down to the concrete to drill holes in those walls to put water and foam down, and because of that, it'll be delayed for some people before they can return to these buildings. Paul Balabanowitz and his wife salvaged a few groceries from their unit today. They say they never imagined their lives would be disrupted so much and for so long.
Never. This is like, I have gone through cancer treatments, and this is more devastating because I don't have a home.
We're actually fortunate in the fact that we had somewhere to go in addition to the hotel. Right now we're stationed in Peterborough at Pauline's sister's place.
It was November 27th when fire broke out between the walls of this Thorncliffe Park condo before spreading to an adjoining building at 21 Overley Boulevard. More than 400 units were evacuated. The fire is now out, but residents won't be getting back in anytime soon, and the frustration is mounting.
Anxiety, depressions, and all that stuff. And nobody cares.
You just want to go home.
Yes.
I want to thank them for their patience and their resilience throughout this difficult time. The city will move quickly once those engineering reports come and help people move back home as quickly as possible.
The city's fire chief says this is one of the most complex fires the city has ever dealt with. And many of the condo units, especially the ones located near the seams between the two buildings, had to be torn apart to get at the fire.
Destructive and intrusive testing inside units adjoining the wall where the combustible material is was required for us to have certainty to declare this fire out. So there are absolutely units that adjoin this wall where we have cut into the walls, where we have drilled holes into the walls so we could deploy our Hussar cameras and search out the edges of the fire and the fiberboard to know exactly the path of travel and where the fire stopped.
For his part, Balabanowitz says his unit suffered no damage, but the neighbor across the hall wasn't as fortunate.
The floors have been destroyed. I know some of the walls have been kicked in, there are holes. There's a fair bit of work to be done for the unit to be livable again.
This will be a phased-in return for residents in both buildings, but no one knows for sure when it will start. So obviously the units that weren't damaged, those people will actually get back sooner than people who had some units that were quite disrupted because of the battle to stop this fire. That'll be up to the property management company. The building's now been turned back over to them. Reporting live, I'm John Musselman. I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, John. Just ahead, the trouble with tires. Why Ontario's tire dealers say new provincial regulations have put the brakes on their ability to recycle used tires, and the problems that could come with leaving piles of them lying around.
But first, here's a live look outside at this hour where the conditions aren't too bad at all. It's been much colder in the past couple of days. In fact, we are anticipating a warm-up this week, which is really nice. And look how busy Nathan Phillips Square is. You know who's also busy? Our Lindsay Morrison. She's crisscrossing the GTA tonight. She's at Certified Sports Memorabilia in Vaughan.
That's right. Continue on her mission to help build a toy mountain. Lindsay.
Yeah, and I've got a great crew to help me with that tonight, Nathan and Michelle. You're right, we are in Vaughan, we are at Certified Sports Memorabilia, and we are building a toy mountain. Look at this wonderful group. You may notice some familiar faces in this crowd, and a four-legged friend too. This is Finn, a great companion to have tonight. I want to reintroduce you to Bonnie Marner, an important member of the Marner family. Mitch couldn't be here tonight because he's in Las Vegas, of course, but we're so thrilled to be here with your family again this year.
Thank you so much. It's real nice to be able to do this and have everybody here and help people get a nice Christmas and kids have a nice Christmas. And
Absolutely. You all do so much work with the Marner Assist Foundation. You help so many important causes. And tonight we're going to talk about a couple of them, but I want to ask you, Chris, a little bit about the Salvation Army. We're collecting toys for families across the GTA. This has got to feel good at this time of year.
Oh yeah, for the last 5 years, so it's awesome. It's good to give back in any way we can, so look forward to it every year.
Thank you for doing your part over the last 5 years. I have a feeling this year might be the best one yet. It's a bit of a chilly night outside, but we are nice and toasty warm in here. Here's a look at the current temperatures. And believe it or not, temperatures are actually going to rise through the night tonight. That's something that doesn't always happen. -3 degrees right now feels more like -8. We've got gusty winds still out of the southwest. They are starting to ease a little bit. On the satellite and radar, there isn't a whole lot to show you. A little bit of mixed precip moving across Lake Huron right now. And a little bit of snow just to the east of Georgian Bay. Should be a quiet night for us, temperature rising to about 0. And then tomorrow, our forecast daytime high around 5 degrees. Again, we are live here in Vaughan building a toy. Lots more to come. We'll send it back inside to you, Nathan and Michelle, for now.
All right. Thank you, Lindsay. Well, it's only been operating for a little more than a week, but City Council has already decided it's time to make changes to the Finch West LRT.
The new transit line has been panned by many commuters who say it's moving too slowly. And today, councillors voted to speed things up by giving the green light to signal priority. CTV's Natalie Johnson reports.
Frustrated with Finch, commuters taking the brand new LRT today.
This is my second time. It's to be expected.
We're wondering why this barely week-old transit line, with trains traveling in some cases at just 11 kilometers per hour, was off to such a slow start.
I start at 7 o'clock. I reach at my work 7:30. I work right there. Yeah. So they need to speed up.
What have they been doing all this time that they didn't figure this out?
That was the question at council today, as the mayor called for signal priority for the Finch West LRT, which has been traveling slower than the buses it replaced.
So that the light will change when the LRT approaches, so we don't have to wait so long.
Transit policy once again turning political.
Could this have been done earlier? It's being done today.
As councillors clashed over who was to blame for the lackluster launch.
We had a really good plan for getting light rail onto city streets. Because of Rob and Doug Ford, it's taken a lot longer, cost a lot more, and isn't being delivered as well.
It's pointing the finger at the province. Nobody's disagreeing that they built this thing, but they didn't build it in a vacuum. You know, those conversations have been ongoing, and they are building a system to the specifications of the TTC, who is the operator. So ultimately, you know, that rests with the mayor, that rests with the city.
We have no control over the TTC, over the Finch West LRT until we received it. So you have to ask that question to Metrolinx.
The Finch LRT, while it may not be her fault, it is keeping with the theme of poor delivery of service.
Divided on why the issue of signal priority wasn't sorted out before this line launched, but in agreement that it needs to be done now. Stephen Holliday, worried that prioritizing the LRT would slow down traffic, was the lone vote against the plan to make Finch faster.
From our perspective, up in that part of the world, I think that this is a great line. We're willing to give it a real good chance to make it work for us and for the rest of the city.
Council 2 calling for signal prioritization for the Eglinton Crosstown LRT, this time ahead of its opening.
If it isn't faster than the bus, it's not ready.
Riders, meantime, hoping that council's green light will speed up the slow-moving rapid transit. Natalie Johnson, CTV News.
Cycling advocates are urging City Council to approve a bike lane network plan they describe as a win-win solution.
We look at the facts here, and again, this is the government's own experts. So we found out as part of our legal challenge that the government's own experts basically said that bike lanes reduce traffic collisions for all road users, not just cyclists, by 50%. So when you add protected bike lanes, it makes things safer for all road users.
Staff are recommending a plan which would see over 20 kilometers of new bike lanes built along Trethewey Drive, Rathburn Road, and Kingston Road. None of the proposed bike lanes would require removing a lane of vehicle traffic, keeping it in compliance with provincial legislation. City staff says that will be accomplished by narrowing some lanes and removing some on-street parking. The total cost of the plan, which includes other road safety improvements, is more than $30 million.
New provincial regulations are causing issues for Ontario tire dealers who say they're having trouble recycling used tires.
That's led to thousands of tires piling up, which some warn creates a potentially unsafe situation. CTV's John Woodward reports.
Here's a little tour of our problem at the moment.
Everywhere you look at this North York tire retailer, tires. Unfortunately, not the ones they can sell.
We got a whole bunch of scrap tires that need to be recycled with nowhere to go.
Rich is a tire hauler. He'd love to recycle the 3,000 tires here, but he says no one is taking them.
Processors are closed and not accepting any tires right now.
A problem happening across Ontario, says Adam Moffat of the Ontario Tire Dealers Association.
There could be, millions of tires stockpiled across the province right now.
Critics say one factor behind these piles of tires are recent changes to provincial recycling regulations. Tire producers have been responsible for recycling tires since 2019, paid for with a consumer fee. But in January, the province changed the recovery target from 85% of the weight they sell to 65% of an averaged weight. When some recyclers hit that lower target, they stopped accepting new tires.
In the thick of the busy season here, to have tires piling up in the large quantities that we're seeing is just creating unsafe circumstances.
Piles of tires everywhere.
Ontario's opposition says those new regulations need to be rolled back.
All they're going to end up doing is sending them off for incineration or some other thing, or they may end up in a ravine near you.
We got in touch with a nonprofit recycler, E-Trax, that offered to take the tires here. That could help Rich, but he's worried.
We need to come together and do something because the system is broken.
If nothing changes, stockpiled tires will count against next year's target, and the producers will stop taking tires even earlier, leaving him with an even bigger pile of tires next year. John Woodward, CTV News.
Just ahead, meet the Walkers. Raheem Ladani hits the pavement with a group of friends exploring the GTA on foot, and whose extra long treks have made them a viral sensation.
A man in his 50s is fighting for his life after being hit by a tow truck in Mississauga late this afternoon. It happened at around 4 p.m. on Rathburn Road. Police say the man's been taken to hospital with critical injuries. The driver of the tow truck remained at the scene. Rathburn's been closed between Dixie and Bow Beaches for the investigation.
A man has pleaded guilty in a drunk driving crash that killed 3 siblings in May. Ethan Louillier, who was 19 years old at the time of the crash, has pleaded guilty to 3 counts each of impaired driving causing death and impaired driving causing bodily harm. He was behind the wheel when he crashed into the back of a minivan while exiting the 401 in Milton. 15-year-old Ramon Lavina and his 13-year-old brother Jace died at the scene. Their 6-year-old sister Maya died in hospital a short time later. A sentencing hearing for Louillier is set for February.
And a 25-year-old man has been sentenced in a deadly hit and run that happened in Vaughan last year. York police say Harnoon Sean was given a 5-year sentence and 15-year driving ban. On May 21st of 2024, police responded to a collision at Martin Grove and Jackman Crespent, where a 16-year-old on a mini bike was struck and killed by a white Mercedes, which fled the scene. Shortly after the collision, police were called to a nearby location where the driver of the Mercedes reported that his vehicle had been carjacked. Officers determined the carjacking was a false report, and the complainant was identified as the driver involved in the hit and run.
In Australia, investigators have linked the terrorist attack targeting the country's Jewish community to ISIS.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese says the father and son suspects were influenced by the Islamic State. CTV senior correspondent Judy Trent takes a closer look at what evidence has emerged.
Before the mass shooting began, dashcam video reveals how a couple confronted one of the Bondi Beach attackers. They tried to wrestle away his gun. Boris Gurman and his wife Sophia were among the 15 people killed.
It would appear that there is evidence that this was inspired by a terrorist organisation, by ISIS.
Homemade Islamic State flags were visible in the suspect's car. Authorities also found improvised explosive devices in the vehicle. 50-year-old Sajid Akram was killed by police. His 24-year-old son was also shot and in hospital. Police say father and son traveled to the Philippines in November and are trying to find out why.
Specifically, who were they interacting with in Mindanao, which is known to be an ISIS stronghold? In fact, ISIS had tried to carve out an independent state there some years ago. Still known to be active, still doing training there. Who exactly were these two individuals from Australia interacting with there?
The Akram's home in a Sydney suburb was searched. Police said the father, Sajid, had licenses for 6 firearms. Australian media is reporting that his son, Naveed, was investigated in 2019 for ties to an ISIS cell, but deemed a non-threat. Meanwhile, a menorah lights up Sydney's Opera House as grief grows at a memorial on Bondi Beach. 2 rabbis and a Holocaust survivor are among the dead. The youngest victim was a 10-year-old girl named Matilda.
Matilda's mother called me and say, Matilda died. And I couldn't even repeat this word at the time. I say, what? What? I asked him many times. I was thinking it's bad reception. I don't hear something well. And afterward, I start screaming.
There are growing anti-Semitic incidents across the globe. A Canadian intelligence assessment done after the Bondi Beach attack found that there is no credible threat to Jewish holiday events in this country. But a violent act by lone actors is a possibility. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
In Los Angeles, prosecutors say they will charge Nick Reiner with 2 counts of first-degree murder in the death of his parents. The bodies of Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer Reiner were found in their home on Sunday. Their son was expected to make an initial court appearance today, but he had not yet been medically cleared to do so. It is a procedural requirement for every inmate going to court. Rob Reiner was one of Hollywood's most prolific directors and won an Emmy for his acting role in the hit TV show All in the Family. Michelle Singer Reiner was a photographer, movie producer, and advocate for LGBTQ2S+ rights.
Some immigration experts are warning Canadians to avoid traveling to the U.S. unless they have to.
Data from U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement show more Canadians are being detained due to changes to American immigration policies. CTV's Heather Wright reports.
This is North America's busiest border crossing, the Ambassador Bridge, which connects Windsor and Detroit. It's where Greg Williams was detained by U.S. Border Patrol last month as he tried to enter the United States with his wife and dad.
And then it was turn the car off, hands on the dash, and within seconds there were 15 agents surrounding the car.
Williams says he was handcuffed and taken into a small room inside the nearby building. He was photographed and fingerprinted before ever knowing why he was being detained.
I wasn't worrying about being sent to some, Ecuadorian supermax, which is very much white privilege of me, that it's like I don't have to worry about those things, but that's also like nobody should.
Turns out there's another Greg Williams with some sort of a record that prompted the detention of this Greg Williams, an Ontario musician.
This happened because I have the same name, and that's crazy.
Williams was released after a couple of hours, but his story highlights the growing number of Canadians being caught up in the immigration crackdown underway south of the border. More than 200 Canadians have spent time in ICE custody at some point since January, compared with 137 detained in 2024. Records show at least 6 children were among those detained. While a handful of Canadians had felony convictions or other criminal records, the vast majority were picked up for visa violations or less serious infractions, which experts say marks a major shift in policy.
For the most part, from what I've seen, we're looking at very minor criminal infractions, but sufficient to attract the radar of U.S. enforcement.
Experts say in the past, Canadians would have been denied entry into the United States or sent back to Canada, but are being detained more frequently. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Meanwhile, the Canadian government says it plans to open a consulate in Greenland and Alaska. The decision is intended to strengthen Canada's presence in the Arctic, which is of increasing interest to the U.S., China, and Russia. There were plans to open a consulate in Greenland, but it was postponed because of weather. No date's been set for the opening of a consulate in Anchorage. There are 5 friends who met at an Oakville high school and have now taken that friendship across the GTA on foot.
Their ultra-long walks have allowed them the chance to spend time together, explore the area, and go viral while doing it. CTV's Rahim Ladani introduces us to the walkers.
We're going to walk on Shepherd Avenue.
Meet the walkers.
I'm Michaela Walker.
I'm Sebastian Walker.
I'm Katie Walker. I'm Sophia Walker.
Okay, they're not actually family. They're a group of high school friends, and you guessed it. Even in the bitter cold,
Last time I was just wearing this jacket. Now I'm wearing the other jacket inside, and it's a lot better.
they love to walk.
So it's really cool to see everything in the city with new eyes after living here for so long.
I think I've grown to appreciate it a bit more. And with the company that I have, it's a really good time.
They went viral over the summer after trekking 60,000 steps from Oakville to the CN Tower. Since then, they've walked from Vaughan to downtown Toronto and the TTC's Line 2 subway route. Now they're at it again.
Wait, which way is it?
This time with a more modest path.
Today we're walking all of Line 4 and Line 3, so we're doing a double today.
Starting at Shepherd and Yonge, they'll walk to each of Line 4's stops. They'll then travel further east and follow the now defunct Line 3, Scarborough RT, which was decommissioned 2 years ago.
We don't really come prepared, so we haven't learned too much about that, but I think we're better walkers now. We have gotten better shoes.
Now for the questions everyone is likely wondering. What do they talk about on these walks?
One time we were talking about if each of the Timbits had a personality, what would their personality be?
Yeah.
And what's the food situation?
We're stopping at Tim's. We're getting the farmer's wrap.
And Dollarama as well. We're always stopping at Dollarama.
We do have some energy gel that we're just trying out.
A very natural mix of just tahini, so sesame seeds, maple, and salt.
Okay, moving on. While the walkers say their friendships have grown stronger because of the often grueling time commitments, it's also an opportunity for them to give back, with each walk raising money for the Fort York Food Bank.
When we posted our first video, we didn't know where it would take us, so we wanted to put that attention towards something worthwhile.
Since COVID, their demand and their need has gone up exponentially. So wherever we can help, we'd love to use our platform to help out.
After this adventure, the walkers say they have one more big trek planned to go from downtown Toronto back to their homes in Oakville just in time for the Christmas holidays. But they may need to restock on some more sports gels. Rahim Ladani, CTV News.
Coming up, targeting trading cards. Thieves want to get their hands on these popular collectibles, with some being resold for 6 figures plus. How stores are ramping up security.
And I'm Pat Foran. Coming up on Consumer Alert, Canadians continue to find new places to travel instead of the United States. It's a trend likely to continue into next year. We speak with 2 travel companies, and they have their top picks for Canadian vacation bookings. All of that story, that's just ahead.
We are building a toy mountain, but it's not the only good that's happening here tonight in Vaughan. We're with the Marner Assist Foundation, and Chris, it's not just the Salvation Army benefiting tonight. There's someone else that you wanted to present some kindness to tonight.
Just a lot of families in Toronto. It's good to give back. So there's a lot of toys that have been donated over the night and over the past little while. So it's awesome to see everyone come together and put all this stuff together, and it's going to be hopefully a lot of happy people for Christmas time.
There will be. Bonnie, we have a beautiful check here that you'd like to present to Second Harvest. Tell us about that.
Yes. And am I pulling up now?
$20,000 to Second Harvest. That's fabulous, Bonnie.
Fantastic.
Great. Lori Nickel, what do you think of this?
We are just so touched for all your support for so many years to make sure that kids and families have a great, healthy meal this Christmas. We're so grateful. You have no idea. Thank you on behalf of all of us in Toronto.
Thank you so much for helping out in this endeavor to put food on tables and smiles on faces.
Exactly. This is fabulous. And if you're watching at home too and you're thinking, how can I make a difference at this time of year? We'd love to share with you that you can scan to find out more about Toy Mountain, the Salvation Army, and of course other wonderful organizations like Second Harvest that you can help at this time of year. When we come back, we're going to continue to build a Toy Mountain with the Marner Assist Foundation here in Vaughan. Stay with us.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Many Canadians are continuing to avoid travel to the United States due to trade tensions and other economic factors.
Even though trips to the U.S. are down, travel companies say the number of Canadians packing their bags for a vacation has actually increased. Here's Pat Foran and Consumer Alert. Pat.
Thanks, Nathan and Michelle. When it comes to traveling, many Canadians continue to look elsewhere before crossing the U.S. border. Trips to the sunny south are up, as well as travel to Europe and Asia. Many people are willing to go further and stay longer. When it comes to Canadians choosing to travel to U.S. destinations, Flight Centre says its bookings were down substantially in 2025, and it expects that to continue into next year.
We're down close to 40% year over year in travel into the U.S.
G Adventures, a company that specializes in small group adventure travel, has noticed the same trend.
While our bookings in the United States are down, it doesn't mean that Canadians are traveling less. They're simply choosing different destinations.
So where are Canadians going? According to Flight Centre, there has been a huge increase in interest to travel to Turks and Caicos, St. Lucia, Japan, Colombia, and Switzerland. Many people are looking for good value and are willing to travel further and stay longer.
We've seen an incredible increase to somewhere like Japan, where their dollar does stretch a bit further. Places like Australia, the Canadian dollar is stronger than the Australian dollar. So Canadians, once they get there, they feel that they can really stretch their dollar.
G Adventure says its top destinations for next year include Peru, Morocco, Costa Rica, Thailand, and Japan. It's also finding travelers want to vacation when it's less crowded.
People are trying to avoid the kind of over tourism. So they're choosing to travel during quieter times. So it's not quite as busy. And they also save some money doing that as well.
And more people are also choosing to go on trips by themselves.
We're really popular with solo travelers. Female solo travelers are our largest demographic.
Both companies say most travel spots are filled for the upcoming holiday period, but many people are booking fun in the sun trips for January, February, and March. Larger destination vacations are being booked now for next summer. And Flight Centre says with more people flying, expect busier airports and fuller flights. You should arrive in plenty of time, as some airports now use biometrics and fingerprinting, which can add to processing times. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
If you have a consumer story idea, email us at alert@ctv.ca.
All right, the quest to build a toy mountain continues, and we've only got a few days left, Mish.
This is the final week. The finale is on Friday. We're giving away a vehicle, and Lindsay is all over the city. She's actually in Vaughan today. Lots of toys, I'm sure, collecting this hour, Lindsay.
And you know what, Michelle, I was pretty thrilled to see this hockey Barbie here, because that's sort of the theme tonight. We are celebrating hockey, sports, and of course, we are building a toy mountain, and there's a mountain of generosity happening here tonight as well. Want to introduce you to Mike K. Mike Krishniski. How did I do?
You did perfect.
Four-time Stanley Cup winner. Congratulations, first of all, on that. And thanks for being here tonight. I know you're a big supporter of the Marner Assist Foundation.
Well, I've been lucky enough 2 years ago been asked to participate, and fortunately they keep asking me to come back, so they do a tremendous job. I mean, the Marner Assist Foundation just is one of the key ingredients to building a solid foundation, so they just keep giving and giving, and it's couldn't have happened to a nicer family.
Oh, absolutely. They're going to be giving in a big way to the Salvation Army in just a moment, so stay tuned for that. We're also going to talk a little bit about the weather, because even though winter still technically doesn't begin for another couple of days, boy, oh boy, it has been feeling like the season. Let's take a look at our current temperatures. It is still, well, there's still a wind chill factor right now, so keep that in mind. If you're venturing out, maybe you're going to the local hockey rink soon, -2 degrees this hour at Pearson, feels like -7. Here's the thing, though, that temperature has actually risen a degree in the last hour, and that will continue to happen through the night tonight. So it's a little bit of an unusual night. Normally our temperature falls through the overnight. Tonight we rise to about 0 for the low, or the not so low. It's more like our high for today. Let's talk about tomorrow. Waking up, yeah, it could still be a little cool, but we're on our way to a forecast daytime high of 5 degrees above seasonal. Normal temperature this time of year is about 1. We haven't been able able to say too many times this December that we are above seasonal, but that will be the case right across the board tomorrow. 6 degrees in Burlington. It's going to be about 4 degrees in Uxbridge tomorrow, and 2 degrees in Huntsville is also warmer than normal. -2 is the norm this time of year. Not a whole lot going on the satellite and radar here in the GTA right now. However, things do change as we make our way into tomorrow morning. Possibility of a quick passing shower or perhaps a light flurry, but maybe some mixing possible too. Overall, it is going to be a mostly dry day. And then into Thursday, things change a little bit. It's going to be quite warm during the daytime hours, and it looks like a round of rain is going to move in. Yes, rain instead of snow. So that's mainly through the overnight hours and into Friday. Friday morning, we could see a change over to some flurries as the temperature starts to fall once again. But before that, we could pick up about 10 millimeters of rainfall. So just be aware of that. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. So forecast daytime high on Thursday, 7 degrees. The last time we had a temperature that warm was 3 to 4 weeks ago. Then as we head into the weekend, temperatures near normal, 0, but the return to flurries for Friday, and for Sunday as we officially welcome winter. We are live here in Vaughan. It's been a great night already. Chris and Bonnie Marner, you've been fabulous hosts tonight, and you have a special presentation that you wanted to make this time to the Salvation Army.
Yes, we do. I'll just pull it up for you.
Yeah. Look at that, $20,000 to the Salvation Army. Gina, this is fabulous, wouldn't you say?
It sure is. You know, this is more than just a toy. You just have to know that there's so many families in need out there. We give food, we give toys, and it just makes the Christmas for a family. So thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you all.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Bonnie, thank you for hosting us tonight. You've had an amazing crowd here tonight as well. Tell me a little bit about your foundation and how important it is for you to give back, especially at this time of year.
It started with Mitch when he was in London. He was really active with the London Knights, and when he became with the Leafs, then he wanted to carry on. And now he's in Vegas, but we still want to help out the community, and so many people need help. At Christmas time, maybe a little more than normal. So any little thing that we can do, and with the assistance and the help of everybody else pulling together, hopefully children are having a great meal and a nice little gift under the Christmas tree, and just helping out.
That's so wonderful. Thank you to you both. Thank you to your entire family. Thank you to Mitch, maybe watching in Vegas as well. And if you're watching at home, you want to make a difference and help us build a toy mountain. Here's a look at how you can help us do that. You can scan to find out more, or you can text to donate a $25 monetary donation to 30333. I'm here live with Finn. He's going to throw it back. CTV News will be back in just a couple of minutes. What a good boy. Aww.
Owners of collectible stores across the GTA say it's a growing issue.
Thefts of valuable Pokemon trading cards, some of them worth thousands of dollars. CTV's Beth McDonnell has more.
This card specifically, like a Van Gogh Pikachu last year would have been like $100, and now it's selling for $800-900.
Pokemon and Magic the Gathering trading cards are popular and can be pricey. So much so, thieves are going after them across the GTA.
Almost all the break-ins happen in the middle of the night when no one's here. So, thankfully no one's hurt. None of our staff are around, but it happens, quite often.
The cards are used for playing games and are collectibles. Dolly's Toys and Games deals with some cards valued over 6 figures.
If your card goes for $200K, it could go for $300 tomorrow, as long as someone's willing to pay that amount of money for it.
All of our stores have a hospital. They're 1,500-pound mag locks.
Experiencing violence and theft, Mint Tank sports card owner John Amendola has become a self-described security expert to keep card thieves away. He has protection on the doors and windows, vaults, a sophisticated entry system, and plenty of cameras.
5 attempted break-ins, 3 break-ins at multiple locations. We've had an armed robbery and we had a couple of instances of mail fraud to the tune of, $100,000+.
Still, York Regional Police tell CTV News they're not observing a noticeable increase in trading cards being specifically targeted in thefts, but Amendola says there could be a reason for that.
I think they just don't want to bring more light to it. There's children are involved, families. I can tell you, there is an issue. It happens all the time, and they are aware. And Peel, York, and Toronto, they've all done a great job.
In October 2024, a York investigation recovered Pokemon and Magic the Gathering cards worth around $100,000. Officers say, fortunately, this year, there hasn't been another incident like it, although they have seen shoplifting and sometimes trading cards are stolen in residential break-ins. In Peel, police say data is categorized too broadly to isolate incidents around trading cards. In Toronto, police told us they don't see a consistent crime trend of Pokemon card thefts. Store owners point out there are some mechanisms within the industry stopping thieves.
If there's 15 dealers in Ontario, there's only so many people you can steal your goods to. Secondly, mostly everything is tagged, serialized, all the grading are encapsulated, and a lot of the manufacturers are now issuing barcodes that are specific to the store.
We still recover a lot of stolen items just because it's as easy as they are to move. Sometimes it's really tough to get away with very expensive cards without raising red flags. Yeah, we have cameras all over.
But despite all upgrades, efforts, and being extra careful,
it doesn't seem to deter all the thieves.
And some keep trying to steal the cards. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
Our mountain of toys continues to grow. We are live in Vaughan tonight. It's been so wonderful to explore different parts of the GTA and meet some new and old friends. Mike, tell me a little bit about your contribution to the Marner Assist Foundation and the family. And this is 5 years that this has been going on with Give a Gift?
Yeah, well, it's been going on even a lot longer than that. I've known the family for probably 15 years before they were particularly well known. And I can tell you from my own personal experience, this whole family knows what it means and how appreciative they are of what the community has given to them. And they really bestow that upon all the board members, and it's part of our philosophy.
Thank you for sharing that with us. The generosity tonight has been outstanding. We would love for you to contribute and help us build a mountain of toys as well. Here's a little more information on how you can do just that. One of the ways, but a reminder, you can drop off a new unwrapped toy at any Dropbox location here in the GTA. Stay with us. CTV News will be back as we continue to build a toy mountain.
Ottawa has signed off on a major mining deal that will see a British firm acquire a Canadian one. BNN Bloomberg's Morella Fernandez has more.
This is about a U.S. $20 billion all-stock deal between Anglo American and Teck Resources. As part of it, Anglo American has agreed to spend $4.5 billion in Canada over the next 5 years. It is also moving its global headquarters from London to Vancouver. Shareholders already approved the deal that creates a copper power producer. The new company will be called Anglo Teck. Canada's industry minister says Anglo's commitments are legally binding. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar ended the day at 72.71. West Texas Intermediate crude lost over $1.50, ending the day at 55.27. Western Canadian Select is down as well, and the TSX dropped 219 points today to close at 31,263. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
The Business Report is brought to you by Canadian Western Bank, the bank built for business.
FIFA says some $60 tickets will be available for every game of the World Cup after a global backlash. The tickets will go to the national federations whose teams are playing. Those federations will decide how to distribute them to loyal fans who've attended previous games at home and on the road. There was shock and anger worldwide last week on seeing FIFA's ticketing plans. There were no tickets in the lowest priced category for participating teams, and the cheapest prices range from $120 to $265 for games that did not involve Canada, the U.S., and Mexico.
Here at home, it has been a well-kept secret for more than a year, but now Toronto Tempo fans know what their team will be wearing when they take the floor for their inaugural WNBA season. The team unveiled 2 of its 3 uniforms. One jersey is white and the other is Tempo Bordeaux, a red shade with purple undertones. The Tempo says it wanted something modern, bold, that people would really enjoy wearing. Toronto's red shaded jersey is its main one and will be available to buy in January. Its alternate jersey has not been revealed yet. All are designed by Nike. The Tempo debut next year, playing most of their home games at Coca-Cola Coliseum.
The Maple Leafs will be looking to snap a 2-game losing skid when they face off with the Chicago Blackhawks tonight.
The team will also be honoring longtime radio broadcaster Joe Bowen when they hit the ice at Scotiabank Arena. CTV's John Leithong reports.
To the line! Here's Buchanan! Scores!
The unmistakable voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs for 44 years is being honored tonight at Scotiabank Arena.
Joe's synonymous with the franchise.
A day dedicated to Joe Bowen, beginning with a ceremony in the dressing room with the team.
Getting here 44 years ago was a dream come true. It is the organization that I grew up loving.
Gilmore to Bobby Rose! Shot! Scores!
This is the last season that Bowen will call games for the Maple Leafs. Players like Steven Lorentz says Bowen's voice is the sound of memories.
Just driving to and from the rink from hockey practice when I was a young guy and we couldn't watch the Leafs game, my dad would throw it on the radio and he just really brought the game to life. So I made memories with my dad and me in the car just that much more special, being able to, listen to Joe.
Some of the Leafs' most famous moments are tied to Bowen's calls. For players like Max Domi, who grew up watching his father Ty play in Toronto, it's easy to recall Bowen's best work.
When Matt scored against Carolina, that one right there gives me goosebumps watching it every time still.
Now he does! Loose puck in front down to Derby, leave it, score! They score! Don't tell me about Hart!
And of course, there is the saying known to the hockey world.
Holy Mackinac! Holy Mackinac! Holy Mackinac! The Leafs have won it!
And for anyone wondering the origin of Holy Mackinac, Joe Bowen says it actually goes back a little farther than him.
We sat down with Bowen in October, where he explained that the saying came from his father watching games back home in Sudbury.
He would sit there with me on his lap, and when Johnny Bauer, my dad played goal, I played goal. When Johnny made a big save, it was Holy Mackinac, what a save by Johnny.
So tonight is Holy Mackinac night, and today players were proudly sporting their T-shirts.
This is a memory that I'm going to keep forever. I'll be able to hold on to this thing and tell my kids that I got to listen to Joe Bowen and he got to say my name when I'd score a goal or something like that. So it's pretty cool.
The team honoring Bowen with a copy of the game sheet from his first Leafs radio broadcast against the Chicago Blackhawks in October of 1982, the very same opponent they're facing tonight. Sean Leithong, CTV News.
Just ahead, baking spirits bright. A Midtown Toronto neighborhood is transformed into Gingerbread Lane. We get a taste of the festive food for the eye coming up.
It is a tasty way to tour a Midtown neighborhood.
As CTV's Jessica Smith reports, area businesses are all decked out with custom gingerbread houses.
A sweet initiative has taken over the neighborhood at Yonge and St. Clair West.
We've rebranded this year to Midtown Gingerbread Lane to focus on supporting our Midtown businesses. We have 15 participating businesses, each with their own custom-made gingerbread house.
Now in its 4th season, the Midtown Gingerbread Lane holiday tradition is all about supporting local with a seasonal twist.
You can vote for your favorite gingerbread house, and we put the ballots inside the businesses, so you have to go in, maybe you'll look around, maybe you'll buy a shampoo, maybe you'll buy a coffee.
Each business creating their own custom creation they are happy to share with the community.
Well, being in the area for 47 years, it's a must, being part of the whole event. It's exciting, supportive, small business.
Welcoming in passersby to take in their architectural achievement made from gingerbread.
It's awesome. This is our 3rd year, and it's been really good. People love it. They bring their kids in. It's very festive, and it's very family-oriented, like our restaurant.
Each vying for first place in a friendly competition, with prizes on the line that put funds right back into the local businesses of your choice. The gingerbread masterpieces will be on display at all the stores here in the Yonge and Sinclair neighborhood until December 28th, and then a winner will be announced in early January. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
From Gingerbread Lane to certified sports memorabilia in Vaughan, where Lindsay, wow, that was a big fat check earlier tonight.
Yeah, it's been so impressive. A couple of big checks, Michelle and Nathan, I will say, and so many wonderful organizations benefiting tonight, including Second Harvest, including the Salvation Army, courtesy of the Marner Assist Foundation. We are building a toy mountain. Look at this wonderful group. Just before we say good night and goodbye, we'll take one more look at your 7-day forecast. You know, temperatures are going to warm up over the next couple of days here, and some rain in the forecast on Thursday could wash away some of the snow out there. I know this is not great weather for anyone who's built a backyard rink. The weather so far in December has been ideal for that, but it is going to become a little cooler as we make our way into the weekend. We'll see if we can get it cooler than that in the long range and perhaps in time for the holidays. Speaking of which, Marner family, happy holidays. Thank you again so much for hosting us tonight. This has been wonderful.
Yes, thank you so much. We really appreciate you being here and getting the word out, and the generosity and kindness of everybody involved to make everybody's holidays a little happier and a little merrier. So Merry Christmas to everybody, and hope 2026 is fantastic.
Thank you, Bonnie, Paul, Chris. Thank you to Lori. Thank you, Gina and the Salvation Army. It's been a wonderful night building a toy mountain. And we'll send it back inside to you, Nathan and Michelle.
All right, much appreciated.
Oh, it sure has. Thanks, everybody. Oh, the generosity. We really appreciate it. Have a great evening, and that is it for us. But be sure to join Omar Sachedina at 11 tonight for CTV National News, followed by Zoraida Allman, who has your next local newscast at 11:30.
In the meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and the whole team here at CTV News, thanks for watching and have a wonderful night.